What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again. Got another knife review for you today. This is the Kershaw Spline, designed by Les George. If you guys remember, I recently reviewed the Valmara, also a George design, and this knife is very different from that one. So I'll give you guys the specs one more time. I'll tell you what I like about it and whether I think it's a good purchase for you. This is a 2.875 inch blade here. Your handle length is 3.875 inches. Making your overall length 6 3/4 inches, so a fairly small knife, not tiny, but a good EDC size, I would say. Your blade thickness here is 0.09 inches, and then your handle thickness here is going to be 0.38 inches, so slim in a lot of directions, but your weight is going to be a whopping 4.4 ounces, and that is because this is an all steel construction, and we'll kind of talk about the benefits of that and some of the drawbacks as well. So this blade shape here, a modified sheep's foot, I would say. This point drops down very severely. You still got some belly to this blade, a hollow grind, 8CR13 MOV. You can see George design there, model number. These are Chinese made. And then Kershaw Speed Safe written on the flat on this side. So this whole knife's got a nice black wash finish. I think it matches really well. I have no complaints there. The grind lines are really cool here. This knife is a really good slicer, surprisingly. I mean, this has got a fairly thin blade, but with this hollow grind, it's pretty good. The puncturing power of this kind of blade shape is not going to be the best, but for EDC tasks, this blade shape doesn't leave anything to be desired, other than it doesn't look very good to me. These sheep's foot kind of modified drop point looking things aren't very attractive to me. They're not cool, but they're very functional. You know, make no mistake. You do have a switch here on the top, mainly for decoration. I don't see a whole lot of functionality there, but well, that takes us to deployment here, which is going to be this very large flipper tab, and there is good jimping all along that as well. Super easy to access, and this action is pretty incredible. I mean, look how fast that thing comes out. Just like I said many times before, 2016 Kershaw Speed Safe equipped models are just crazy fast. Super reliable. You can hear that thing snap open. Do it one more time for you guys. Awesome. Love the action on that. Your lockup is going to be a frame lock here. This is a steel frame lock, and it's hitting pretty good, but there has been some blade play. You can see that wiggle just a little bit. There's some side-to-side play, up and down, non-existent. But that side-to-side play isn't severe. It's not making me question the integrity of the lock whatsoever. It's just a little bit annoying. For us knife nerds, it's just annoying. I don't know if it does a whole lot to the functionality of the knife, because this is not a hard use knife to me. I'm not going to be doing this to do any serious tasks, but not something you want to see. Your blade centering has also been off. Two kind of fit and finish issues here. This one, I could probably tighten up, maybe Loctite the pivot, and things would be fine. You can even see that screw rotate a little bit there. But for the price you paid on this knife, it's not uncommon, but it's still not something you want to see. That's the best way I can explain it, so I don't want you guys to rule out the knife just yet. So as I said, steel handle scales on this one, steel frame lock, and you do have an over travel stop here, kind of a unique one too. This is just a little piece of metal on the inside of the pivot. You can take it out if you'd really like, but this is going to prevent you from extending that lock bar out too far, and it works pretty well. Give you a close-up of the black wash on this side as well as this side. Black hardware here, black pivot. And then you do have some sort of glass-filled nylon backspacer here. It's got some ribbing on it that is actually useful. It's protruding just a little bit outside of the handle scales, giving you a little bit of traction in hand. And that's something I was honestly surprised when I got this knife, because it's a little weird looking, and I was like, man, the ergonomics of that one are not going to be great. But the flipper tab here is huge. So you got a nice finger choil, and you do have somewhat of a 3.5 finger grip, but it doesn't feel good when you first open the knife, but when you're using it, it actually fits kind of like a glove. It's not the best ergonomics I've ever seen, but for this size of knife, I don't think he could have done a lot better. As a designer, I'm talking about Les George. And then the jimping here on top is actually similar to the Cryo, where it's widespread. It's not very sharp, but it gives you good traction. One of my favorite features about this knife, something I said about the Valmara, there's a divot up here that works perfect for your finger if you're doing drag cuts, or for your thumb if you really need to choke up on it and do some finer tasks. So I love this area here. And couple that with the backspacer, I think you got a pretty good ergonomic feel to this knife while it doesn't need to be G10 and super grippy all over. You do have a large lanyard hole here on the back, easily fit paracord through that. And then your pocket clip is going to be the same as the Valmara, as well as a lot of the new models. Loop over design. It's a great design other than this little lip here. You can see where it loops over. Right there is where the material on your pocket, or at least mine, has caught. And you kind of have to force this all the way to ride as deep as you want it to. And I mean, you're only getting half an inch, quarter of an inch out of your pocket at best. And this is reversible to the other side. So I love the way the knife carries if it's all the way seated in my pocket. So just something to note there. So guys, do I recommend the Spline? It really depends. To me, this knife is very similar to the Kershaw Cryo. And let me tell you why. Steel handled, speed safe, frame lock with an over travel stop and a loop over deep carry clip. That's the exact same as what the Cryo is. Instead, this is a black wash version with a kind of a sheep's foot looking blade and just a different design feel. I think those knives are good for the same things, but they look very different. So is this knife better than the Cryo? No, I don't think so. I think the Cryo is a little bit more versatile. But what this knife offers is a fairly tough, smaller EDC knife. Now I do have a lot of knives of 3-inch plus blades or 3.5-inch plus blades, but these sub 3-inch blades are hard to come by in kind of tough packages. And the Cryo is a good example, but this one, with its good frame lock, its steel construction, this thing's going to take some beating before it goes down. Now, is this my favorite knife? No, it's not. I actually like the Valmara a little bit more because the price point of this one's going to be around 30-35 bucks, and it's one of those designs you either like or you don't. So I'm not going to highly recommend this one. This is not the EDC knife to win it all, mainly because of these small fit and finish issues. I might be able to tighten that up, fix the blade centering, but that doesn't really eliminate the blade play. I've had it centered up completely, and there's still some annoying blade play. So just something you got to live with if you're going to be a Kershaw Spline owner. But overall, guys, good knife, but not great. So thanks for watching, guys, as always, and make sure to have fun with your knives.